In Coronation Street, Hope Stape has long been known as one of the most troubled children in Weatherfield, and her disturbing behavior has been the source of intense drama for years. From threatening others with hammers to kidnapping, Hope's darker tendencies have worried her family and neighbors alike. However, as she's matured, her actions have taken on a more relatable tone, moving from outright dangerous stunts to the more typical challenges faced by young teens, such as peer pressure and relationship problems. Recently, Hope's storyline took another worrying turn as she became fixated on vaping, a habit that is becoming more prevalent among teenagers. The young girl began using vapes in an attempt to impress the older kids at her school, including Dylan Wilson, Liam McShane, and Jack Webster, Kyron Bowes. This newfound interest, combined with her need for validation from her peers, is leading Hope down another dangerous path, and her family remains oblivious to the potential trouble that lies ahead. Hope's sudden attraction to Jack has further distanced her from her previous relationships, notably with Sam Blakeman, Jude Riordan, who had been her close friend and confidant. After learning about Jack's involvement in setting fire to Stefan's offices and car, Hope's fascination with Jack grew stronger, and she dumped Sam in favor of spending more time with Jack. In Hope's eyes, Jack's rebellious streak made him more interesting, and her own desire for excitement and danger resurfaced as she found herself drawn into risky behavior. While her family, including her mother Fiz Stape, Jenny Mihalpine, and stepfather Tyrone Dobbs, Alan Halsall, tried to intervene when they discovered her vaping habit, Hope managed to manipulate the situation in her favor. In an upcoming episode, Mrs. Crawshaw, the head teacher at Hope's school, pays a visit to the Stape household to address the issue. Despite the concerns raised, Hope skillfully convinces everyone that she has stopped vaping, leaving both her family and Mrs. Crawshaw reassured that her habit has been kicked for good. Fiz and Tyrone, relieved by the seemingly positive outcome, are pleased with Hope's apparent turnaround. However, the young girl's behavior tells a different story. Unbeknownst to her parents, Hope has no intention of giving up vaping, and her rebellious streak is still very much alive. As soon as Mrs. Crawshaw leaves the house, Hope retrieves her hidden vape from a sideboard drawer, determined to continue her dangerous habit in secret. In a moment of carelessness, Hope's actions once again put her family in danger. While attempting to sneak a quick vape, she is interrupted by Evelyn plumber, Maureen Lipman, who calls her for help in the shop. In a rush to avoid suspicion, Hope hastily stashes her vape back in the drawer, without realizing that it is still hot. As she runs out, a curl of smoke begins to rise from the sideboard, a sign of the impending disaster. Unaware of the growing fire hazard, Hope leaves the house with no idea that her sister Ruby, Billy Naylor, is about to return home from school. With the smoke gradually increasing, the potential for a fire becomes very real, putting Ruby's safety at risk. If the fire takes hold before anyone notices, it could have devastating consequences for the family. As viewers watch in suspense, the tension builds around whether Hope's latest reckless act will lead to tragedy. Will the fire spread, and will Ruby be caught in the middle of yet another dangerous situation caused by her sister? For Hope, the consequences of her actions are once again looming large. Though her behavior has evolved from outright violence to more typical teenage rebellion, her inability to fully grasp the seriousness of her choices continues to make her a ticking time bomb. Her family's attempts to help her, while well-intentioned, may not be enough to prevent another catastrophe from unfolding in Weatherfield. As the episode unfolds, Coronation Street fans will be left on the edge of their seats, waiting to see whether Hope's latest mistake will lead to another fire, and whether she will finally face the consequences of her actions before it's too late. For Hope, this could be the moment that pushes her further down a dangerous path, or it could be the wake-up call she desperately needs to change her ways.